Alright, I'm going to shoot a quick video, which I'm also going to share with the folks at EMG, because their pickups are great, but this is something I encountered when I was installing the system in an Ibanez RG 350. I'm left-handed, so that's part of the problem, and I'll get into that in just a second. So basically, what I did was I've got an EMG 89R dual coil, got an EMG S in the middle position, and an EMG 81 in the bridge. I have a 5-way switch so that I can select between pickups, you know, how those work, positions. And then the dual coil is controlled by the switch on the volume knob. Alright, so here's where the problem is. Because I'm left-handed, the way that I have to orient my switch is, and this is a 3-way switch, so I have a 5-way in there. If I orient it like this, it gets in the way of the volume. If I orient it the other way, I don't have enough clearance on this side where the guitar body is. So I have a 5-way switch in there because the 5-way doesn't have this sort of a bus configuration for, what's that, for the bridge pickup. Also, the 3-way switch is only limited to 2 pickups. It's a bridge and a neck. So that didn't work for me. I ended up having to do a 5-way switch. But the size is the same on the switch, and I wanted to send this to EMG because here's the issue with their switch. Their switch is on the left, the stock Ibanez switch is on the right. On the left is a 3-way switch, on the right is a 5-way switch. Now if you look at the slot that's required for the switch, it's actually much bigger on the EMG. The other problem is that this is a body-mounted switch, so either way I have to account for the thickness of the top, or the thickness of the route, and how flush or how recessed in this case the switch is. So because the switch is recessed and because it's bigger, here's what happens. You get middle position, fine. Okay, we're going up. Middle and neck position, fine. Neck position, when I try to click into the neck position, it doesn't click all the way over. It doesn't engage just the neck pickup. It keeps the middle pickup engaged because it's hitting up against the wood. Same thing down here, bridge and middle, okay. Go to switch it to the bridge position, and it has more travel that it needs to make in order to disengage the middle pickup, but it can't. The other problem is the switch itself. Let's compare the two. Alright, EMG switch on the right, stock switch on the left. Look at the shaft of the switch. It's much smaller. I mean, if I take and measure it with calipers, I'm coming up with, let's just do this real quick. So for, yeah, of course. So for that, I'm coming up with 0.18. If I measure this one, all the way up to 0.24 inches. So 0.18 versus 0.24 is a pretty big difference just in the size of the switch. So what can you do to solve this problem? Well, I could grind down the switch so that it's thinner. That might not be enough because it's a wider switch. So what I did was I took one of these. This is a neck nut shaping file from StewMac. This is for a bass, so this is 0.105. This, interestingly enough, just fits into the route for the switch. Now you have to take the switch out, but because it fits into the route, I can basically saw back and forth, and I can move this line further towards the screws in order to open up this hole. But I can only do so much before I run into the screw itself. So you can see where I did it here, I've actually cleared out a lot of wood, quite a lot of wood, and it's still hitting up against the edge of the switch itself. Down here, same thing. I've cleared out a lot of wood. So I'm still working on this, but I wanted to just underline that this is a problem, because if you're putting these switches in a solid body guitar, it really is impacted by the route of the guitar, the thickness of the guitar, you know, and that sort of thing. But again, I love EMG. This is nothing against EMG. This is just a problem that I had, and it's a problem you might run into as well. So if you run into this problem, as with any guitar repair, the work's on you. If you decide to screw up your guitar, you can. So understand that this is pretty easy to mess up, and you need to take it to someone who knows how to do this sort of thing, or run the risk of ruining your guitar. So have fun.